Blackburn Rovers, once champions of England, now a forgotten club, a sleeping giant waiting for the right hand to wake it. When I took the job, the goal was simple: survival, consolidation, and a 5-year plan to return to the top flight. So we're going to jump straight into the Lancashire derby against Preston. View of the fancy graphics. We're running a little bit quick there, aren't we? So, I mean, this Lancashire derby traditionally might have been, I'm not too sure, but might have been a bit of a derby. But I suppose now it's probably been more relevant as a derby since both teams have been in the Championship for a number of years. I think Blackburn's biggest rivalry in derby is more Burnley, isn't it? Who again, I've spent some time in the Championship, so. Forson's just getting run past a bit there, isn't he? They're in and they've scored. 1-0 to Preston. 18 minutes in. Just drifting through the midfield and defenders there. Central defenders. We'll carry on, we'll see what we've got. It's happened to us before this season. And we've come back into the game pretty quickly after going a goal down, so stick with it. Gay to Forson. Over to Ashley, Pickering in the overlap. Get the ball in. Usually that's a cross from Pickering to Gate and it's a goal, but he decided to cut back and play it back into midfield. Pickering free kick to Gardner-Hickman off his head. Let's have a look. Yeah, took it straight off the keeper's fingertips by the looks of it. As I said, we've been quite good at coming back from a goal down early on in games. We've got Gardner-Hickman and Freddie Potts starting. Oh, bounced off the post and the keeper stayed on the line. We've got, Potts and Gardner-Hickman starting as a bit of a defensive unit, really. Cantwell is on the bench, he's just come back from injury, so I'll be bringing him on as the deep line playmaker, I think. But they're both playing well so far. Good rating, 7.4 and 7.6. It's Marashita, Gay and Forson that need to put their ideas up, really. Miller isn't exactly having a great game at right back either. So we'll go into half time. I think we've been a better team. I think they need a bit of a pick up. Quickly checking on these tactics. Opposition instructions. Just in case anything's changed during that first half. We can just alter that. It's come out with some refreshed opposition instructions. Generally get the assistant manager or a coach with decent sort of tactical knowledge to do those instructions. Tapping it about a bit. Ohashi to Gay. He's in and he scores. He doesn't need much of an invitation, Gay, to score these goals. He's having an absolute belter of a season. And I think he's going to have to feature in an upcoming video. About EFL strikers. Not that I've played too many EFL teams or games, but he's particularly one that's done very well, especially in this stage. 31 goals now for the season. Forson. Gay. Ooh, what happened there? Is that off the keeper onto the post? Pickering over the top to go. It's usually sub time, but I think we'll wait a little bit because we're on top at the moment. Morishita's might have run his race, and Miller. But we'll see. Hashi running the channel. That goes through the keeper. Sorry, I said 31 goals for Gay this season. It's 21. 31 would be ridiculous. So, Hashi's into the box. Plays it across the 6-yard box. Straight through the keeper's hands. Gay's there to tap it in. Poor keeping, but we'll take that. Right, 70 minutes, we can make some subs. We can just quieten things down a little bit. We've been trying to give Taejon a run of minutes just because he's probably our best youngster, our most promising youngster. So we'll bring him on attacking mid. Out of possession, I want him to track. In possession, he's attacking mid. Morishita. Well, his rating did improve a little bit, but I'm still going to take him off. Hamilton. Miller. Montgomery can come on for Miller. Still playing wing back. And then I'll give it 5 more minutes before Campbell comes on for one of them central midfield positions. Let me just check this. So I did have a little play about in the data hub earlier in the season, and it's not something I do a lot of, to be honest. It's a lot of numbers and graphs and wheels and all sorts that, to be honest, just can't be bothered with. But one thing I picked up from it was that we weren't taking enough shots, and since I changed things, it's improved. But then sometimes we keep getting a message pop up that says basically we're wasting shots, so discouraged from long shooting. So I have to remember to go in and do these individual instructions. And I tell you from how long ago it was when Gordon was playing and he was cutting in, which we haven't done for a bit. So I probably should look at. I thought I'd changed it, but then it just seems to keep happening on the individual instructions. Maybe I need to relook at that and save it. Forcing Gay. Okay. Cantwell's on. We've got another sub left. We haven't really got anyone that could come on the right wing. I'll have a look at that in a second. We'll get this corner out of the way. Kick it into Carter at the far post. And he's headed it in. 4-1. In that Lancashire derby. Not bad. We may have to use it that last one, won't we? 1 there. Montgomery would rather stay on the bench. Why would you rather stay on the bench when you're 3-1 up? You can come on and just... You don't even have to play well, do you? We'll swap Hamilton and Neve. And then make sure that out of possession one is changed as well. And we'll just steadily see out the game, hopefully. That should be it. All finished. 4-1 in the Lancashire derby. I'm very happy with that. Gay got himself on the score sheet again. A couple of players coming back from injury or squad players that have played a few minutes. Got Tyjon, promising youngster, also got some more minutes. So overall, a good day. Let's have a quick look at the league table. We're still sitting top of the league. 65 points, 3 points clear. Ipswich, Hull and Norwich are all sort of battling it out for those positions just below us. They keep sort of overlapping each other. We're doing well, we're sitting pretty. What have we got in terms of schedule? So we've got to play Ipswich, we've got to play West Brom. They're the closest to us at the moment. We'll fire through a few of these games and then possibly bring it back around this April time. Hopefully we're still top of the league for the run-in and we don't get dragged into those playoff places. So we'll just jump back into some of the transfers that have taken place, some of the outgoings. If we bring it up to January, if you remember, we had Ribeiro, who wasn't happy, complaining about playing time. He ended up leaving. We had Sean McLaughlin, who again was complaining, but he did play a few games before he left, so we thought get him out on a loan. Hedges, also one of those that was complaining, tried to get rid of him permanently, wasn't possible, so he had to go out on loan. A couple of other younger players from the under-21s, just trying to free up some of that wage budget. Then we had Henriksen, who looked like he could have been a good player, but ultimately wasn't playing well when he was given a chance, and we had an offer, quite a big offer, of 1.4 million, so we cashed in, saved that money. Then we had Adam Forshaw, it was on a long-term injury, as was Garrett. By the time they come back, it was January. Neither really good enough to get into the team, so tried to get rid of them permanently, wasn't possible, so they went out on loan. There was a number of clauses in the previous sales, so we cashed in on those, and that's given us a little bit of money to play with. We didn't really spend a lot because in January we had the director of football brought in a fairly cheap 37,000 player into the under-21s, and then we had Forson from Norwich who came in on loan to fill in on this the right wing position, because Katie Gordon left just before January, or as the window opened. Liverpool recalled him, but he was having a really good season to that point, so we were hopeful with some of these attributes here that Forson could fill that void. His average rating in the league hasn't been amazing, but he's had some good games, which makes you think that he could be a good player, but I think the season's going to run out before we actually get to that point where we see how good he could be. And then a backup striker came in from Spurs, Dane Scarlett, who I think's been around for a few years on previous games. He's been a sort of high potential player that might or might not be, depending on your save. He's come in as a backup. He's got some decent ratings. He's a good sort of filling in, because we've been using two strikers. So you can see there he's made quite a few sub appearances to this point. His average rating is quite good. Not exactly filled up the goal stat, which is what we wanted. So if we just have a brief look at the squad and where we sit at the moment with that, we've mainly got a starting 11 that I'm pretty comfortable with, and is probably overachieving this season, which is why we're top of the league, or have been for a number of months during the season. And then we've got the subs bench, who are relatively but probably not quite as good as the starters. And then we've got a couple of players like Isaac Dunn, who's a promising youngster, trying to develop him into that deep lying playmaker role. Hopefully he's going to grow into that position and will take over that role from Todd Cantwell. We've also got, where's he gone? Igor Tajam, who is a promising attacking midfielder, good ratings, good potential ability, and since we've been using him a little bit and the season's coming towards a close, he is now wanted by Manchester United, which could be problematic for us, because if they want him and they want to pay, then he's probably going to have to go. So I need to try and figure out how we can maximise that value and get as much as we can for him, because trying to buy a player with that amount of sort of potential and promise, and who was trying to come into the team, could be quite a tall ask for us in terms of if we get promotion. A couple of the other players we brought in from the summer, Freddie Potts came in from West Ham, just bolstering the defensive midfield positions. He's done okay. He's had some good games, but overall he's sort of been fairly average, I would say. The player that's probably kept him out of the team is Gardner Hickman, who was already here on loan when we started the save and is in from Birmingham, and he's looking quite good. So unless we scout an outstanding candidate who's affordable, then we could go back in for him for permanent. He's only 24, so is a possibility. We've got the main man, Matt Torgay. I mean, some of his ratings are really good, as you'd expect. He's 6'5". He's got a great jumping reach, good aggression, bravery, strength, heading. So it makes him perfect for that target forward role. He's played a lot of games, he's scored a lot of goals this season. 28 goals in all competitions for a season. I don't think many would be expecting him to go on that sort of run. So that's a roundup of the squad. Come back to us in the next episode when we get towards the end of the season. See where we finish in the league. See you later.